This show is a part of the Quite the Thing Media Podcast Network.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm not starting now, but Jesus Christ, that was ridiculous. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was watching it to see if it would time in with when you started the episode.
Oh my god.
You gotta just start it like that. We're going.
No, that can't be the start of the podcast, Shaun. Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of the Gamers Watch podcast. My name is Harry and as always I'm joined by Shaun.
Hey, I'm alive.
And he's alive, he survived the old Rona. Turns out he didn't have it. But...
Yeah, I got a negative. Out of all the negatives in my life, it's the happiest one. I'm happy with it.
I just want to pre-warn a few people. I may be slightly distracted in this episode because myself and Shaun are actually currently watching a European football final. So if you do hear me randomly blurt out yay or boo, you will know whether the team that I support are winning and or losing. So just bear that in mind when you listen to the first sort of maybe 18 minutes of this podcast.
Or more.
I may just randomly scream out at any given time like I did the first time that we tried to record the intro to this show. So first things first is we are up for another award, aren't we, Shaun?
We are indeed. I can't believe it.
Do you want to tell the people what the award is?
It is. I can't actually remember the full name of the award. It's the Gaming and something.
It's the Gaming and Technology Award for
it.
Quite the Thing Media, which is the network that we are a part of.
And considering we're the only gaming podcast on the network at the moment, I think we should get
we're
priority.
the only one that is QTT actually affiliated.
Yeah.
So it will be very embarrassing if we don't win this award. So it's sort of a lose-lose situation because if we win the award, then it looks like favouritism from our affiliates. But if we lose the award, then we just look like complete mugs who shouldn't be on the network in the first place. So
a bit more pressure than
we're looking forward to it. So yeah, it's awesome to be honest, and I didn't actually even put us up for this award. I don't know if you did, Shaun. I didn't even nominate ourselves for this, so somebody else out there has nominated us a few times, which I think is really cool, to be perfectly honest. So thank you very much to our loyal Gamers Watch gang, and you can find a link to vote for our podcast. It will be on our social media as of today. We'll have a link pinned to our Twitter, we'll have it pinned on our Facebook, and we will also have it at the top of our Linktree, which is where all of our various podcast apps can be found. So if you enjoy this show, not only do we want you to share it with your local football coach, we also would love for you to give us a vote in the QTT Awards. It really does mean a lot to us and it would really be appreciated. So thank you in advance for allowing us to win this award. I don't think we're too big-headed saying that, are we, Shaun?
It took a split second for it to click in my head what you just said then.
Yeah, I'm just sort of like pre-congratulating ourselves. There's no way that can go wrong, Shaun. Yeah, thank you in advance.
It is a slam dunk, so we'll just take it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like Tiger Woods just going up against some kid in the golf game that I don't know golf. I don't know why I said fucking Tiger Woods. It's a dead cert, so there's no possible way that this can now go wrong. And if we lose, I'm definitely not going to do the swishy, like, dream noise and then me saying we're definitely going to win and then us announcing that another podcast has won it. So either way, it's going to be good content.
That's all that matters nowadays.
It's all that matters. Our life is content. So Shaun, shall we jump into Xbox news?
Yes.
We've got some quite cool news. Obviously, it's getting close to E3, and we did an E3 prediction, didn't we, Shaun?
We've done a little one, yeah.
Yeah, and what was one of my predictions that I said?
You thought that Starfield was going to come out this year.
Yes, I did. So do you want to go through the first bit of news, Shaun?
Yeah, so it was mainly Jason Schreier that was talking about it, and it was basically that Starfield will be at E3 this year.
So it will be.
It will be.
2021, it will be there. It will.
The launch date's going to be a bit later than people think. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, so it looks likely that it's going to be.
It'll be like
end of 22.
Yeah, it'll be next year at some point, but exactly when I don't know. We'll find out at E3, I guess.
It'll be out when it's done, when it's finished, when it's ready.
We've heard that before.
We have indeed. Also, still waiting on that update on that next gen version of Cyberpunk. Just putting it out there.
I think didn't we say we'd see what they were doing at E3 or something?
Yeah, but on their roadmap that they put out, there should have already been an announcement, mate. So who knows? Who knows? But yeah, my prediction for Starfield being released in 21 sort of came to a dismal end within roughly 48 hours of the podcast being released, which was really great. It was really
Well,
good.
unless
So it
they're
shows.
swerving Jason as well.
I mean, it's more than likely that I'm wrong.
I mean the odds aren't in your favour, but
No.
you never know.
I'm gonna think that Jason Schreier knows more people at Bethesda than I do. But that's just my
Yeah, but
thoughts on
it
that.
might be
But yeah,
like,
it's likely.
It might be like when companies, so like Activision with the Crash Bandicoot 4 trailer, they sent the trailer to different journalists, but each one had a different release date at the end of it. So then obviously if people leaked it, they'd be like, whoa, it was you that leaked it because you're the only one that got given that release date.
They Tyrioned everyone, didn't they? Sneaky fuckers.
They might have done
yeah,
that.
maybe they've done that.
And it'll be 2023 instead.
Yeah, it'll be an Xbox Series X S, which will be like the ultra special X that Paul spoke about the other day.
They call it XS.
I really hope they don't. But it will be out on the PS6. But who knows? But one of the cool things is that Jason Schreier has all but confirmed that Starfield will be an Xbox exclusive. And again, when we say Xbox exclusive, we don't mean Xbox console. We mean anywhere that Xbox has a platform. So it will be likely on PC, but through Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, Microsoft exclusive, basically.
Yeah, it's a Microsoft exclusive. So that is some pretty exciting news that's sort of been confirmed, because Jeff Grubb sort of broke Twitter when he said, oh, by the way, Starfield's definitely going to be an Xbox exclusive. And yeah, it did slightly break the internet for a day or so.
Yeah, there was...
But that's some cool news about Starfield. We still don't know what the game is about.
No.
But I'm going to take a guess that the people making Fallout and Skyrim, that are huge open world, multi-quested RPGs with huge amounts of character creation, I'm going to guess that it might be something similar to that.
A mashup of
That's
Elder
just,
Scrolls and Mass Effect.
Essentially, that's what it could be. So that's some quite exciting news. Now, some other stuff that we did just want to talk about. Obviously, we don't want to come across that we're biased because we talk about Game Pass. We say this all the time. We're a Game Pass podcast in the sense that we just talk about some games on Game Pass. It isn't because we prefer Xbox over PlayStation, but there is something that we do need to slightly talk about. And that is the backwards compatibility issues that Sony are having with the PS5. 2 games now have been developers have been quite vocal about the restrictions that they're having to put onto the PS5 version of their games. And the first one was actually, what was it called? Ghost Contracts?
Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, I think is the full name.
Now, the thing is we're not talking AAA titles here. These are AA title games. However, the developers did come out and say that they had to delay the launch of the PS5 version because of technical issues that they were experiencing. And those technical issues are essentially that they can't get the game running 4K 60 like they thought they would do, and like they have done with the Series X. And a lot of that comes down to the actual the PS5 console itself. The architecture involved isn't sort of focused around backwards compatibility, and that's fine. Sony clearly didn't want to go that route, and Microsoft did. However, the bigger news, I would say, is Biomutant, wouldn't you, Shaun?
Yeah, for us definitely, just because we prefer that sort of game anyway. But
yeah, so Biomutant is running 4K 60 frames on Series X, and I think it's running 1440 60 on the Series S. And it's running 1080 60 frames on the PS5. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to speak about this is that, yes, it is a AA studio, but do you remember what I spoke about last week? About Metacritic reviews and how it's the most pointless thing review bombing games. So, of course, Biomutant on Metacritic has a much lower user score on Xbox than it does on the PlayStation.
Wow.
Currently. And again, I've had a look into it, and lots of users have given the game a 10 on the PlayStation and a 0 on the Xbox. Now, fair play to Metacritic, as they are actually removing a few. However, you saw the tweet, didn't you, Shaun, that THQ Nordic put out?
The review tweet.
And it just goes back to what we talked about, to say that review scores, and really mainstream reviews, they don't really mean much these days. So you had an idea, didn't you, when you worked for Dorknado about reviews? Did you want to just go through that again?
Yeah,
quickly?
so it was basically ditch review scores altogether, and then at the end of the sort of main body of the review, you'd have like a summary section. So it would be the personal pros and cons of the game from the like reviewer's point of view, but then also sort of little sections of the type of gamers that would enjoy it, the type of gamers that it's probably not the sort of thing for them, sort of thing. So you get the reviewer's opinion, which is what a review is, but you also get the reviewer trying to sort of guide you into whether you're the sort of gamer that would enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Not just give it a 7 out of 10
Yeah.
and say it's terrible, because apparently 7s out of 10s are really
Yeah, apparently
bad.
so. No, there wouldn't be any scores whatsoever. It would be like, so I'm trying to think of something. So like if I was reviewing Crash Bandicoot, it would have my like main review, and then I'd list my pros and cons of it, and then it would be like who this game's for. I bet, well, obviously platform fans, fans who like,
And then obviously say like other games, if you enjoyed this game, then you would like
so like
this
if you
game too.
if you like time trials
So-
in racing games, you'll like Crash Bandicoot because there is time trial mode and stuff, and like people who it's not for.
Yeah, so not just saying that it's specific to people who like platformers, but there is like an element of other
Yeah.
genres being
Yeah.
involved too. Totally, yeah. So on the back of that, I just wanted to talk about a tweet that THQ Nordic put out, and to be honest, I thought it was a really funny tweet. So, Biomutant on Twitter said, Biomutant reviews are in, the scores are all over the map, so there's only one thing left for you to do. Play the game and see for yourself. Biomutant will be out later today, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts. We will also talk about another aspect of that in a second. And then THQ Nordic replied to that tweet with a Metacritic and a PC Games review. So the Metacritic choice review was, THQ's new open world action RPG game excels at the former, its world design, but struggles with combat. And directly underneath that is another quote, a vibrant art style and fluid combat hindered by some seriously repetitive open world design. So, I mean, that sort of just sums it
the
up,
most
doesn't it?
contradicting things possible.
How can people decide if a game is worth their time if when they go on to review aggregators, or if they look on a few different websites, or even if they get the opinions of different people on the same websites have varying comments like that? How can a professional games journalist say it's got overly repetitive open world design, but then other it just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, it is other people's opinions, so it can happen. It's just like that is just the nature of reviews, and in any industry, not just games industry, but
they're so
yeah.
polar opposite.
Yeah,
It's just,
but that,
you couldn't get more
but then
opposite
again,
reviews.
think of our two opinions on Desperados 3. They are literally as polar opposite as they can be. But the only thing is, we don't give it a score. We actually go through the game.
No, and also, one thing I would say as well is that I'm very open and honest when I say I didn't play the game enough to give it a valid score, but also don't like RTS games. So, not a big fan of real-time strategies, therefore, probably not the most valid person to talk about it. Whereas, in this situation, we have actual professional games journalists who, they likely pick the person who plays and reviews the RPGs the most. It just doesn't make sense. But there was a point of that I wanted to bring us back to, which was there's only one thing left for you to do: play the game.
Yeah.
So Shaun, how can you play Biomutant right now? What's the way that you can play Biomutant?
You can play it by buying it.
Yep. And have you got any other way of playing Biomutant to see if you like it enough
As
to enjoy
far
it?
as I know, no.
There is no other way. And that's why Game Pass is fantastic, because I've bought several games through playing them on Game Pass and then wanting to own them. But not just that, game demos just aren't a thing anymore. So how can people don't want to risk a new IP not being great, but having exactly like the Hypnospace Outlaw developers said, a barrier of purchase. So yeah, go out and play Biomutant, but the problem is that it's a risk you have to take, and gaming shouldn't be a risk. Some of my fondest memories in gaming was getting a PS1 demo disc and having a play of 5 or 6 games, and then asking my mum to go and get me Tekken 2, or wanting to play Time Splitters, and those were the best things about demo discs, and we don't have that opportunity now. So as much as I would love to play Biomutant, I'm not spending 50 quid to potentially have a game that isn't good when all the review scores are all solar opposites of each other.
I mean, I can see...
It's a tough one. So that's Harry's mini soapbox.
I can see both sides for the demo argument. To be fair, like the basically the main reason there isn't demos, or there isn't anywhere near as many demos anymore, is because there is a much higher chance of you losing a potential buyer than gaining one through demos. And there is a graph somewhere, I'll have to find it again, where it is basically like the people that play demos are going to be either people that have pre-ordered, people that are like sort of curious about it, and people that have never heard it. And the way it works out is there's a higher chance of people that were going to buy it being turned away by the demo than there is people that weren't going to buy it being convinced to buy it from the demo, sort of thing. So I can understand why there isn't as many demos, but at the same time, obviously, from a player's point of view, demos are handy to be able to try a game.
And again, it just goes back to Xbox giving people an opportunity to try before they buy with something like Game Pass. Because Outriders, prime example, yes, there's been some serious issues with the servers. Outriders has sold extremely well on the Xbox, and it's on Game Pass. So,
well, and another thing that Game Pass solves as well, which was one of my most hated arguments in like modern years of games industry, was the value of like $1 an hour or whatever they used to say. Whereas Game Pass, obviously, you don't. That argument can't possibly exist because you're not paying for the game; you're paying a monthly subscription, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's $15 or £15 for 360 games. Yes, some of them are an hour long, some of them are 50 hours long. I was going to
say, you can download like a 5-hour long story-driven game without people being like, oh, that's not good $1 an hour value.
So that's, for me, one of the amazing things about Game Pass is giving people that opportunity to try before they buy. And it's been proven time and time again that people that subscribe to Game Pass, they spend more money, they play more games, and most importantly, they play more types of different genres as well. So,
and I imagine it will lead to games, like games from developers that are sort of either working with Microsoft or owned by Microsoft. You'll see start to see a lot less padding in those games, I imagine, because they won't feel the pressure to have a set like minimum game length time.
Yeah, and also what it means as well is that developers aren't. I know that Arcane Studios talked about this. They're not governed by making sure that a game hits the points that will mean it will sell well. And I know that sounds silly, but it will give them the creative freedom to try different things. Not just think, right, we need to make a repetitive game loop to keep people buying. We need to do this. It will just give people freedom of expression to make a game knowing that it has an audience of currently 23 million potential players. So it's win-win in that situation for me. But yeah, I just wanted to have like a mini soapbox, basically about reviewers and how can gamers have an informed decision where everywhere they look they get completely different opinions, and then the only way to try and figure out if that's the correct opinion is to then spend 50 to 60 or even on the PS5 £70 or dollars on a video game. And also, I'll say this until my face is red, there is no justification for £70 games.
No.
So just putting it out there. Oh, but it's only £10. Fuck off with that. So should we talk about some pretty cool potential news for the end of the year, Shaun, so that I can get off my soapbox and talk about something that actually I'm excited about?
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5 potentially is launching this September.
Woo!
That will be amazing.
Who are the devs going to be? Because Playground Games are making Fable, unless they've got two studios now.
Maybe they have two studios. Maybe Fable has sort of been put on the back burner, possibly. Maybe they were almost finished with Forza Horizon 5, and God knows.
I was going to say, I can't see Fable being put on the back burner. The backlash they would get.
But apparently it's launching this September, and that has just completely come out of nowhere. So there's a good chance that at E3 they announce it, and that'll be like a 3-month wait, wouldn't it?
July, August, 3 months.
Yeah.
To count that on my fingers. Fucking hell.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Shaun. So yeah, that's quite exciting.
Yeah.
Could be.
I wonder where it'll be set.
There are 2 rumours, Japan and Mexico.
Ooh.
What would you rather have?
Prefer?
I would prefer
Japan.
Mexico. I'd prefer Mexico.
I prefer Japan. You get all the like my favorite track in Dirt 5 a couple weeks ago. You get all the like hanging lanterns at night.
See, the main reason I was thinking Mexico is obviously I've been there, but there's loads of Mayan ruins, so they could do like tracks around Chichen Itza, which would be amazing.
And then steal our brand new theme.
But then maybe our theme would be more with keeping with Game Pass. Then who knows? So yeah, let's go for the Mayan theme. Let's go for Forza Horizon being in Mexico.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of what other places I'd like it to be in. I wouldn't mind another like European place. Like,
I was thinking Croatia
Germany.
would be quite cool. Oh, Germany would be good on the Autobahn.
Or
yeah,
have
that
like
would be quite cool.
Or have like Italy, and so like Italy. So you've got like
I think they've done
can't remember
Italy.
what it's called. No, they had the track in Forza. So they had a track in Forza that was set in an actual place in Italy. And basically, we then, with my parents, went on holiday to Italy, and it was because of Forza that we ended up going there, because I basically bugged my parents so much. It was the
Sorrento?
Amalfi Coast.
So Paris would be quite cool. Germany would be quite cool. I think also Amsterdam would be pretty wicked as well. That would be a cool setting. Or I would really like Croatia, so you could go and see like the Game of Thrones King's Landing areas. That would be quite cool as well.
What if they had like several European countries together, and you can then like have like tracks that go from a city up into the is it the Alps?
Yeah,
up into the Alps and then back down into another country.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Or they could use the procedural maps like in Flight Simulator.
Do the whole world.
And they could just have all of Europe, or the whole of South America, or the entire world. And then, like, month by month, it changes, and they'd call it, like, Forza World or something.
Call it Forza Horizon The Run.
Because that worked really well.
I actually didn't mind Need for Speed The Run. Like, the campaign, the story itself while it was happening, I didn't mind. But, it's probably the quickest I've put down a Need for Speed game.
So, we're thinking you would like Japan, I would like Mexico.
Japan,
but we would also quite like all of Europe.
Yeah, Japan or another European country, I'd say.
Japan or a continent. So that would be cool. That would be quite cool. So Shaun, shall we move on?
Yep.
Very, very abruptly, because I can't think of a way to segment Forza Horizon into Game Pass or Play. Oh, Forza Horizon's on Game Pass. Let's talk about Game Pass or Play. Yeah,
Great
really
segue.
good segue. Now, Shaun, just remind the people, what was my game that I was going to play?
Your game that I gave you was Don't Starve.
And what game were you going to play?
The game that you gave me was Steep.
Shall I talk about Don't Starve first?
Yeah, go on. Give the 5-second review.
Yeah, didn't play it. So Shaun, do you want to talk about Steep?
Fuck's
okay,
sake.
I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've played Don't Starve before. I forgot what it was called. I have played it before. I did play a bit of golf with friends, but it's a mini golf game. I mean, what can I talk about with golf with friends?
Oh, it's like crazy golf.
Yeah, it's just mini golf. That's all it is.
I like crazy golf.
And the 3 games you gave me were Killer Instinct, which I've played before.
Yeah.
Golf with Friends, which I played, and it was just crazy golf, and you can invite friends and play crazy golf. And Don't Starve. Now, I picked Don't Starve because I said, I haven't played that, I'll give it a go. And I turned on Don't Starve, and I realised, I've played this before. And the reason I turned it off is because I don't like Don't Starve. It's really boring. It's got absolutely no life to it. It gives you no direction as to what to do. It's got terrible asset management. I really don't like the art style. I don't like the way that the map is laid out. I don't like the aesthetic of the actual game itself. I think it tries too hard to be like a Tim Burton-esque piece of media. Just overall not really something that I enjoy in any way, shape or form. So I decided to play Psychonauts instead. Psychonauts is really good.
I actually, confession I must make is I've never played Psychonauts before.
It's really good. It was an interesting story. Yes, the graphics are massively outdated. However...
That's what Psychonauts 2's for.
Yeah, exactly. But with the FPS boost, it played really well. There was something quite charming about the actual way that the game looked, because it was... When the game was made, those were good graphics. However, you could tell that there were still restraints and restrictions. So they sort of just went with that and then made the graphical sort of capabilities, or lack thereof, an artistic choice. The actual gameplay itself, the gameplay cycle, the actual platforming is absolutely outstanding. All the characters are hilarious. The main character is just great. yeah, overall, massive thumbs up. Absolutely loved it. I had never really played much of it before, other than sort of like an hour here or there. And if you enjoy platform games, you have to play Psychonauts.
Looks like I have
it's
to play it.
outstandingly good. Oh, mate, it's outstandingly good. I can see why there is so much hype about Psychonauts 2. It's genuinely a platformer like I've never played before. It's just a really interesting story, intertwined with some fantastic old school style 3D platforming. So yeah, massive thumbs up. 2 big thumbs up from me. Go and give it a play. There's nothing more I can say that other people that are better at describing, reviewing and playing games haven't already said. It's a masterpiece.
Fair enough. Also, I just want to quickly sidetrack before I go on to Steep, because it just reminded me when you said about the graphics and that. I can't remember who it was, but I want to thank whoever it was in either last episode or the episode before who said about the Stubbs the Zombie HD remaster, because
yes,
I'm 100% playing through that again now.
I can't remember who it was now. I'll go through Twitter quickly while you're talking about your experience with Steep. But yeah, an absolutely fantastic game. So do you want to talk about Steep?
Yeah.
Explain to the people what Steep is, Shaun.
Steep is a game by Ubisoft where it's basically like winter sports, and it's supposed to be this open world on a mountain range, and you have different sort of categories. So you got, I believe it's skiing, snowboarding, sledding. You got the like squirrel suit thing.
Yeah. You've got a paraglider and you've got a wingsuit as well.
Yeah, that's
jet wingsuit.
Wingsuit, yeah. So yeah, it's basically supposed to be like a Forza Horizon, but for winter sports.
How did you find your time in Steep?
Mostly frustrating. Oh boy, this is the worst control scheme I've ever seen for a game. That might be an overreach, actually. I might be overreacting, but it's a terrible control scheme. So basically, with most of them, it's the left stick and right stick together are like your movements and also your tricks.
So you could be trying to do a trick and just completely arse over tit yourself.
Kind of. So it's basically for doing like tricks in the air, you have to hold down the right trigger to sort of prepare to jump. If you're coming towards the jump, then you release the right trigger just as you're about to go off the jump, and then you push one of the sticks in like a certain direction and hold it there, and he'll just keep doing the flip. The only problem is you have to turn the fucking analog stick to turn your character while you're going down the slope. So half the time I was sort of adjusting to get like straight onto the jump, and it would register it as me being like, oh, I want to do the left stick trick. So I'd start doing trick and be like, that's the wrong fucking thing to start.
So there was one button for 2 different controls.
There's left stick and right stick, and they do different tricks depending on. So like if you press the left stick left, it will do a trick. Right stick right is a different trick. It doesn't also, as far as I could find, but this might actually be in it, and I just couldn't find it. There's no like trick list, so it's not like Skate where you can be like, oh, I'm going to try and do this trick into this trick. I was literally just being like, I can push it that direction this time.
That it does
and just hope that he lands the trick, yeah.
Oh,
that was frustrating.
Really frustrating.
The other thing is because right stick is tied to movement and like tricks, while you're in motion, so you can do it while you're stood still, but while you're in motion, you can't control the camera.
What do you mean?
Well, because the right stick's taken up.
Oh my god, so there's no camera
No,
controls.
so there was one where there was like a story mission where I had to follow, I think I'd done like 4 or 5 story missions, and they were all the same, so I don't know if they all are. You just follow someone down a route and get to the end of the route. But I sort of like caught this ridge that sent me off on a slightly different path, so they were like to the right of me, but they were off camera, so they had the little like diamond thing which is supposed to be where they are roughly on the edge of my screen, but I couldn't turn the camera to see exactly where they were, to see where I needed to go, because the camera's the right stick's taken up by fucking movement. And half the time then my person would just sort of hit one little ridge and turn backwards and start skiing backwards, which is a pain in the ass. So yeah, I hate the controls.
So other than not being able to control the character, how was it?
The actual in an actual event, it can be fun. I must admit, there were times where I managed to escape the frustration of the rest of the game and have fun for like a minute before the event ended, and then I was back to like, this is fucking stupid. So the core sort of gameplay is fun, but
all the rest of it
the controls
is very
wrestle against
frustrating.
it so much. They do not go with it. And another thing is the I guess like the narrative of the game didn't feel like there was any like direction.
So
if that
it was
makes
just
sense.
sort of like
so
ski to here, do a contest, then ski to another place to do a contest, ski to another place.
sort of, yeah. So the best way I can sort of explain it is using Forza Horizon, because it's the closest thing I can think of to it. And basically, Forza Horizon, it's always like there's a festival.
Yeah, there's like a theme or a festival.
You have different classes.
Yeah.
There's different things that you know that you're aiming for to unlock and like progress. Whereas this just sort of at the start, it was like when you get to level 25, you unlock this mountain, and then it just plonked me in the start, and I was like, oh, okay, so okay. So yeah, so it felt like I was just basically doing an event, and then because navigating and trying to wrestle with the controls to get to each event is so fucking frustrating, I would just bring open the little menu that shows like available events and just fast travel to it instead of actually using the open world and like the binoculars. So yeah, it didn't really feel like it had a direction.
Hopefully the game that I pick for you this week will be a bit different.
Right.
So would you give it a gameplay or a game
See,
pass?
normally I think in the past I've been like, because it's on Game Pass, it's still worth trying for the core thing. No, it's a Game Pass. It is not worth
enough.
your time having 30 seconds of fun followed by 10 minutes of pure frustration for another 30 seconds of fun.
Paul, you're wrong. He didn't like it.
If the controls were better, it would be such a better game, because even with the like lack of direction, you'd still just be having fun no matter what, doing different events and that. But it's
I get that.
Oh, the controls. I've never had such bad controls in a
just to let
game.
you know, it was Ryan actually won who told you about Stubbs the Zombie.
Thank you, Ryan. Actually,
so shall we go through then what we're going to play next?
Yeah, sorry, I was sipping my drink.
That's okay. That's all right, mate. I'll just edit it out. Don't you worry.
I was
don't you
thirsty
worry.
after that, Ryan.
It's fine,
I don't normally have
It's
soapboxes.
taxing, isn't it, being angry all the time? So I've got a game that I want you to play, Shaun. It's actually 2 games, but I only want you to play one of those games. So recently, a game came onto Game Pass that I've been waiting for quite some time that I downloaded today, and I thought, you know what? I know that Shaun hasn't played many of these, if any at all, really. I think he's only played 1. So I want you, Shaun, to play Final Fantasy X.
Ooh, I have played 2 of them.
7 Remake.
And... Oh, fuck me, I can't... I was going to say 25
15?
then. I think it's 15. It's the one with Noctis and...
Yes, that's 15.
Yeah.
So just a
I
few
played that one
points
as
to
well.
make about Final Fantasy X. It is turn-based, all right? So it's turn-based combat.
Yep.
It's also one of the most highly regarded Final Fantasy games, and when it came out on the PS2 was one of the best-looking games of its time.
Yeah.
Another thing to mention is it has some of the most horrendously awful voice acting in a game
Oh,
ever.
is this the one with the pre-rendered clip of someone on a beach and he's doing
And
that
they just
weird
randomly laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I have a feeling that you are going to really, really enjoy this game, okay?
Yeah. So Final Fantasy
now,
X. I'm just
Final
trying to
Fantasy
find it on my
X
Game Pass app.
and 10.2 are actually on Game Pass.
Yeah, I just
you have to
found
download it. It's one game, but it's 2 games. So enjoy.
So I'm just playing
10. If you
not 10
if you complete 10 by the time we do the next podcast,
Fuck me, I
recording,
doubt
mate,
it.
you will have played. You will have played about 100 hours
I
of
was
Final
gonna
Fantasy.
say, I definitely am not going to be able to find time to complete the game in the time needed.
But I have a feeling that this will be a game that you spend a bit more time on after we play it. So what I'm going to do from now on, I'm going to pick you some smaller games so that you can keep playing Final Fantasy
thank
X
you.
because it is that
But
good.
we also have wildcard
Alright.
games to play as well.
We do, yeah, we do. So what am I going to play, Shaun?
You're also going to play a game that's new to Game Pass.
Oh, I think I know what it
and
is. Can I guess?
Yeah, go on.
Is it Man-Eater?
No, it's
Ah.
not. It's
What is
also a new game entirely, and
Oh.
you're going to play Knockout City.
Oh, I want to play that. That will be great, mate. Thank you
Alright?
very much.
Just remember to duck, dip, dive. No,
I'm-
dodge, duck, dip, dive, and
I'm
dodge.
excited for
whatever
that
it is.
now. So we've got Final Fantasy X, one of the greatest RPG turn-based games with one of the most incredible stories ever, and Dodgeball. Wicked. Oh, mate, I'm buzzing for that. I can't wait. So tune in 2 weeks' time to see how much I hate Knockout City and how much Shaun loves Final Fantasy X.
I will also download Knockout City to have a game with you, but I won't obviously be on it much.
Yeah,
because
we'll have to.
I'll be on Final
So,
Fantasy.
Shaun, we need to go through your game in 60 seconds.
We do. It's that time. That time of the week.
What was your clue, Shaun? Because I don't want to beat around the bush with this. I think we need to get this segment just done and dusted out of the way as soon as we possibly can.
But I've got a special one.
No,
again
just
time.
say what your last week's clue was,
So
mate, because I think it was one of your worst.
A bit worse than Formula One.
It's up there. It's up there.
So last week's clue was that double play just cemented his team's defeat.
Go ahead, Shaun. Tell the people what it was.
The game was Outlast 2.
Which doesn't
It
make
does.
sense.
It's a double
because
play.
It's not called a double play when the person that is out second means it's the end of the batting innings.
No, double play is the hint for the number 2, and then it just cemented his team's defeat, so he was
Fair
Outlast. It makes sense.
The 11th wicket fell twice.
No, that makes no fucking sense.
Because the 11th person that goes out to bat is the last person, so he would be out last. The 11th wicket is out last.
But why would it fall twice?
The 11th wicket's fallen again. Anyway, my one was no better. That bendy bit of my legs at the bottom of the ocean. Knee on abyss.
Fuck.
Really bad.
Oh.
Properly bad. Should we go
God.
through some more terrible ones, Shaun? Because
Yeah.
I've got a stinker this week.
I've got mine are so bad. I think I've improved a bit. They're not as bad, but they're still bad.
Why would you have to legally pay to drink in America? Why would you legally have to... No, I fucked it up. When you have to pay to legally drink in America. When you have to pay to legally drink in America.
I know what this is because you've told me already. And you cannot say a thing about double play and then bring that out.
This one's great. So,
The worst thing yet.
when you have to pay to legally drink in America is my clue. Shaun, what's yours?
So my normal one is this bloody sat-nav never takes me straight to the afterlife.
Oh my god, this is so
This
dumb.
bloody sat-nav never takes me straight to the afterlife.
So, Shaun, I think we've got this special clue. I think you should do the special clue next week's episode, and we'll hint towards it this episode. So then we'll keep them in anticipation for an entire week. Should we do that?
Can do.
Because it will really annoy them.
I don't think it would annoy them.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. Wife of Paul. Oh shit, I need to bleep that out. Bollocks.
just bleep the name.
So,
We've already said.
shit, I've just said it again. I'll have to bleep that out as well. Okay, so wife of Paul, we're calling you out. Fuck off, Shaun. We are calling you out. Shaun has come up with the most ridiculous
Mainly
clue
because of
ever.
the Gears of War comment.
And in next, mainly because he said Gears of War wasn't very good. But in next week's episode, he has got a special clue just for you, for nobody else. And it is
I was going to say,
horrendous,
you
all
thought
right?
that Paul's wingdings were bad. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I've come up
Just
with
so
a
you know,
doozy.
I'm currently learning Morse code, so you've really set yourself up for something, guys. So, a little bit of anticipation then for next week. So, we're bringing back the community question, aren't we, Shaun?
We are. It's been
a
quite a few
while.
weeks,
It
actually.
has.
Because we had the Pokemon special and that.
So, what was this week's community question, Shaun?
This week's community question was, what trailers did you get absolutely pumped, as you've written in capitals, for?
Yeah, basically, what were some of the best trailers?
What was an absolute
Now,
corker
what I
of a trailer?
think that we should do in this segment is we will quickly talk, because we are running quite over time at the moment, but we will talk about a trailer that we both enjoyed, and then we will list through some of the answers that we got. So, I'm going to go first, Shaun, and
Okay,
I'm
please
going
don't
to
pick the
say
same one as me.
the trailer for the first Assassin's Creed game. That trailer
okay.
was utterly incredible. Him walking through the crowd, he's got his hood up and his cape up. It was a new IP at the time, and that entire trailer properly hyped me up. Now, I know you're not the biggest Assassin's Creed fan.
I did,
and a lot of people don't
I
like
really liked it up until 3.
Yeah,
I
3
think
was
that's when I sort of took a
But
hiatus from
the
it.
initial trailer for Assassin's Creed, because it was a game that was not like anything else that had come out at that time really set this game up as something completely different to everything else that was on the market. It just looked like this story-driven action stealth assassin game in a sort of setting that really no other game before or after has been set in. I mean, I can't think of many games that are based in sort of like the Middle Age Middle East, really. So yeah, that would be my choice, would be the original Assassin's Creed game. What was yours, Shaun?
Mine.
I can guess what yours is. I'm going to say what yours is.
Okay, go on.
Gary Jules, Gears of War.
Wrong.
No way.
Yeah. How does that feel?
What was yours?
Mine was the launch trailer for Mass Effect 2.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, no, I get that.
Well, it's basically like a montage of different clips from the game. Like you have obviously like the voiceovers of people being like, "We must stand up to the Reapers," blah blah. But it's the song. The choice of song is the best possible choice of song in a trailer. It's Heart of Courage by Two Steps from Hell. And if you haven't heard it or you don't know the song just by the name, it is one of the most epic songs possible. Like the build up throughout the song and then sort of like the big payoff at the end is just amazing. And I can't describe how hyped I was for Mass Effect 2 when I saw that trailer.
Well, we'll put some links to it in the social media, so do go and check out both of these trailers. So we'll put a link up to the Assassin's Creed 1 trailer, and then we'll put a link up to the Mass Effect 2 trailer. And we'll go through some of the answers that we got from some of our listeners and followers. So, going to go through the Twitter followers first. So, Film Floggers on Twitter, they said Halo 3, to be a young, dorky, carefree teen again. And they also said the Gears of War trailer wasn't too shabby either. I really thought that Gears of War would be the one for you.
I did have it in mind, but I was like, there probably is ones. So basically, I just went through loads of old games and watched the trailers again. And then as soon as I'd done the Mass Effect one and the song started playing, I was like, yep, I remember that.
That's the one.
But Halo 3 was the like sort of diorama one,
where
wasn't
they
it?
told
Where
the
were,
story
like, figures
of the previous games through the action figures in not even stop motion, was it?
No, it was just like
it was just tilt shifted.
sort of.
Yeah, that was a really good trailer. Alex SS, so he is SS Alex 984. He's one of our sort of long term followers and listeners. He said the Arkham Knight trailer really stuck out in his mind. It was just a shame that the game didn't deliver the quality of the trailer.
If I remember right, that's the one that had Mercy by Muse playing, wasn't it?
It was indeed. The next one that we've got here is Dead Island. That trailer was absolutely something else, and that was for Game for a Movie podcast. I'll agree with that. That was an incredible one. It was the one that went backwards, wasn't it, with the little girl?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I had here on our Facebook post.
Just a shame that game was completely massively average. Now,
just gonna slide that in there.
Somebody's put Cyberpunk, but I don't ever remember any Cyberpunk trailers really being that good.
The only one I remember being sort of really, I guess not excited, but like taken aback by was the Keanu Reeves reveal. But it was,
but that wasn't a trailer.
It kind of was.
He was just at E3 calling people breathtaking.
No, but like they played the trailer beforehand, and it showed him bending down saying we've got a city to burn or whatever it was.
I do remember
and then
that,
the door opened.
But I would say that was less that the trailer was good and more that it was just like, oh my god, Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was more like a taken aback, like, the fuck is he doing in this?
So what were some of the ones that were on Facebook, Shaun?
There was, Dead Island, like I said, Assassin's Creed Revelations. I'm trying to remember what the trailer for that one was.
That was, it was an Ezio game, so it was just like the return of Ezio's storyline. So yeah, that for people that really liked the Assassin's Creed 2 sort of narrative, then yes, I would agree with that. Not so much that the trailer was amazing, but that it was like Ezio just being his awesome best.
Yeah. And we had Halo 3, as they've said on Twitter as well. Skyrim, which I'm surprised not as many people said.
The thing that I remember though about
Skyrim
trailer was the fan version that came out where it's like, holy shit, what is this? And I always remember our friend Sam used to just sing it all the time.
Oh, I can't remember what he's called. He's an animator.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
that was what I always used to remember.
Fuck.
You go through a few more of them, Shaun, and I'll get that video up.
Yeah, I was trying to remember his name. And then there was also Dragon Age 2.
Harry Partridge.
And Dragon Age. That's it, yeah. He does loads of
I'm not
animated
too sure.
videos. I don't know if he still does nowadays.
The Skyrim one, definitely. I thought more people would say that. And the only reason that I didn't say it is that I thought more people would say it.
There was... there was also Oblivion as well. So the Elder Scrolls before it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then
because...
and then Ian Tom said Fallout 76. Sadly, it was a crushing disappointment.
It was a crushing disappointment. So those are the trailers that we love the most. And yeah, what I would just say about that is that there are quite a few games that didn't live up to their trailers. So just remember that during E3,
Maybe that's
please.
what our next discussion should be. Games that just horribly crashed and burned after their
Sean,
initial
it's
hype.
just going to be me shouting the word cyberpunk for
And
half
Fallout
an hour.
76.
Yeah,
I'm trying
to
think
it
of
will
what
be like
game I've been
Roxanne
satisfied about.
by the Police, but instead of Roxanne, it will be me saying cyberpunk, and then instead of them saying put on your red dress or
Put
whatever,
on a red... No, you don't have to put on a red light.
it will just be you saying you don't have to play Fallout 76.
No,
So,
I'll
no,
be
we
the
won't.
backing vocal, so after you say cyberpunk, I do it in like the slightly higher pitch.
Those were the trailers that we were most excited
And if
about.
the old press play stuff is anything to go by, whenever we're allowed to meet up and get drunk, that video will happen. Do you remember the clip we done? I can't even, we were just bored one night at the studio and we put that like sort of electro music on, and it was sort of like as if it was a normal trailer of a game studio, and then it just cut to clips of us in the garden in the middle of the night for no reason.
Yeah, just like...
And there was like the bit where I was...
randomly stood in weird positions with like all the lights on, and then it was pitch black. We'll have to try
I
and
was
find
sat on the
that.
bench as well, and in the pitch black it makes it look like I'm sat inside on the computer, and then you just turn the lights on and I'm just sat outside on a bench.
Yeah, we'll have to try and find that.
Such a stupid clip.
Yeah, it was a really dumb clip. Try and find it, Sean, and
it'll be saved somewhere in my curiosity folders.
Now, speaking of dumb things, should we crown the king of the Twidiots?
We got a first champ.
He's the reigning champion. He's got the belt, so Shaun is going to be putting a bit of a graphic together, and we're going to award it to him as well. We're going to tweet at him to say that he is currently the King Twidiot. This person goes by the name of Crap Gamer, and he lives up to his name, doesn't he, Shaun? So I'm not going to spend too long on this because a lot of our followers did see this, and I've actually muted him on Twitter, so I can't see a lot of his posts. However, I just want to read through a very quick exchange of some tweets. Okay, so what will happen first, the Crap Gamer says. Zack Snyder making a good movie, or Xbox releasing a AAA exclusive. Now just remember that they did release Gears Tactics, didn't they? And that is a AAA developer making a AAA game. So we'll just forget that Gears Tactics
a really good
exists for a while. And somebody said after that, when will Sony make a great multiplayer game? Now, admittedly, they're baiting them a little bit. It's console war-y. But, whatever. You let your losers have their time. If they want to argue about my plastic box is better than your one, then they can do it. The Crap Gamer said, didn't they make Factions, which did well? First of all, never heard of the game Factions. Just want to put it out there. Didn't even realise that game existed.
I must admit, I don't think... nothing's ringing a bell.
Uncharted 4 was played by
Factions.
40 million people. Again, Uncharted 4, as far as I'm concerned, that's a single-player game. Faction 2 is on the way, and they also have an ex-Bungie studio working on an exclusive... okay. Someone says sales. Most of these games are dead. They're just having a big argument about, my plastic box versus your plastic box. Now, somebody said then, you can't admit that Gran Turismo Sport is a mess. And I don't know if it is. It just
GT Sport
probably
was
might
good
not be a very good game.
For my personal opinion.
So someone just is an Xbox player and they just don't like a PlayStation game. Whatever. The Crap Gamer responded saying, Motorsport 7 completely sucked and tanked. Hence why it's been 4 years and we've seen nothing from them. And the next game is still in early development.
I think it was in that argument, actually, and I forgot to mention it to you when I saw it. Said something about Forza's so bad they haven't even announced a new game in 7 years. And I was like, they announced it last year.
Yeah, they did.
Before the Xbox Series X came out. And it's just called Forza Motorsport now or something, isn't it?
Yeah. They're taking the number away from it so that they can just constantly update the game. Yeah. So we'll just forget all of that and we'll go back to the Crap Gamer. Motorsport 7 completely sucked and tanked. Hence why it's been 4 years and we've not seen anything from them. And then I just tweeted at them. I just sent them a little tweet. And my tweet said 2 words. It said, this you? So is this you? With a question mark. And it was a picture, a screenshot, of the Crap Gamer reviews on YouTube, Forza Motorsport 7 review, the most beautiful racing game ever, racing perfection, 10 out of 10.
Dear.
So congratulations to the Crap Gamer. You are the current Continental Champion
You
of
chose a
the
mid-card
Twidiot
belt.
We'll, I don't know, but we'll present the belt to you. We'll get you a little belt drawn up, and we'll, I don't know, what else can we do? Do like a graphic video of like a belt appearing.
Just put a crown on top of his Twitter profile picture.
A bird with a turd. And yeah, congratulations to the Crap Gamer. You are the current reigning champion of Twidiots, because you just flip-flop between liking Sony and liking Xbox. His excuse, by the way, for saying that Racing Perfection 10 out of 10 for Forza Motorsport 7 was he didn't realise that Sony made games until 2018.
It just cements his status as Twidiot.
And apparently, because he played God of War, that now means that Forza Motorsport 7 isn't a good racing game. So yeah, I don't know how anyone will beat him. I just don't get it. I feel like we've peaked so massively early with Twidiots already. I'm sort of gutted.
Title ring.
Yeah, I think that every week we should do a Twitter poll, and we'll start it with Crap Gamer, and then every week it will be like a knockout phase.
Yeah, we could find a new Twidiot challenger each episode sort of thing and do it on a poll.
And I genuinely don't. Every week. And then we'll do a vote. Yeah, we'll do a poll, and we'll link the tweet that we think is the Twidiot tweet, and we'll do a poll to see who is the dumbest person on Twitter. And then at the end of this season, we'll have our Twidiot champion, and we'll like send them a crown in the mail or something. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll just send them a poo in. No, we can't do that. That's a hate crime.
Oh, this is
but
gonna be good.
We'll send them a
to
3D printed turd with a crown on it, like the prize that Renham has in the IT crowd, Shithead of the Year award. Yeah. So that's the end of this episode. I'm going to be honest, Shaun, a little bit distracted by the football still. So I feel like I've been massively off form this week, but
I haven't really been watching it.
I've just been non-stop watching it, so I feel like I've barely been here. Yeah, so a bit of a crap one, really. I don't really even think we can get some highlights together from this mess, but there we go.
No, we got through quite a bit, I reckon.
We did.
Got through 5
a few
segments.
laughs. So, yeah, 5 or 6 minutes worth of highlights, I reckon, from this episode, don't you, Shaun? To be honest, this is probably going to make it into the highlights, so that just goes to show how great this episode was. So thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 4 of the Gamers Watch podcast.
This also was episode
It's 20 overall, but it's episode 4 of season 2. So thank you for clarifying that and clearing that up, Shaun.
No, I mean, like, it's a bigger number. Like, I remember when we hit episode 10, we were like,
yeah.
fuck me, we've hit episode 10.
Yeah, we've not really made a big deal about it, have we? Also,
we didn't even call it episode 20.
It's been 6 months since we've been doing the show now.
Is it dead on 6 months? What was the actual date of our first... Oh, fuck me, I can't be asked to figure that out. This will be this releases the 29th of May.
The next episode will be 6 months of the show. Shit.
Cool.
Episode 21 will be 6 months. Don't know how that works. Oh, because we didn't do weekly, did we?
Yeah.
So
we done bi-weekly first.
So thank you, everybody, for listening to this podcast. I'm sure that if you've got this far along, then you're likely to share it with somebody, because Christ knows.
Asleep.
Yeah, unless we haven't sent you into a catatonic coma. So please, one thing that we would just ask is, if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please do leave us a review if you enjoy this show. We have got 3 reviews currently. However, our old iTunes page is no longer available to us, and we cannot migrate our podcast over there. It's still on iTunes, but we have no control over it, and it's not updating. So it's very, very frustrating. So thank you, everybody, for listening. And again, we are nominated for the QTT Awards. We will put a link on all of our social media for that, and we would massively appreciate it if you could vote for us in that. I've been Harry. Who have you been?
I've been Shaun.
And keep on listening.
And keep on gaming.
It's just going to stick now, isn't it, Shaun? Every week.
I'm glad it has.
Yeah, we're doing that little
slowly
fade out talk thing again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like in the news when they're shuffling their papers.
And it's going to go to penalties.